Good morning, my friend. This is Heather Dunlop with Thriving Woman. One of the things I want to talk about you is a phrase that I heard just a couple days ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, that explains exactly what I was feeling all those years ago. So here it is. The phrase is trauma therapy, therapy trauma. Therapy trauma. So what does that mean? It basically comes down to this that you go to therapy so many times and you continue to talk about the past. And what happens as the recipient, the patient, is that you end up digging deeper and deeper and deeper into that old story. So much so that it becomes even stronger and it becomes part of your story that you tell when you meet everybody. And it's all about the past and being stuck in the past. So, what happens is there's trauma from reliving that so frequently that it makes it you feel even worse. Now, here's something I must say. I'm not saying therapy is bad. Nope, not at all. I think there's a time and place for therapy. I think there's a time and place for coaching. I think you can also do the two of them hand in hand. You can work with someone in therapy while you're working with someone in coaching. Now, what I want to do to explain that is there's a difference between therapy and coaching. Therapy is really pretty much focused on your past and what happened and looking at resolving what happened in the past. Whereas with coaching, we're looking at the future. We're saying, what do you want in life? Where do you want to go? And let's help you get there. Part of our coaching will uncover some of the beliefs you have about what happened to you in the past. And in coaching, we work on those beliefs to remove that old autopilot belief and help you create a new autopilot belief that gets you to where you want to go. In therapy, they focus on the past, and there's all kinds of different techniques, and there's licensed practical professionals that can help you with that. So if you need therapy, please go seek a therapist. If you want coaching, work with a coach. But understand there's a difference when you're doing the two. If you go to a coach and you're really seeking to resolve problems from the past, you may need to go see a therapist. And if you're going to a therapist and you're forward looking and forward looking and forward looking, they keep wanting to review what happened in the past, you might be in the wrong spot. So, really consider before you make an appointment with a therapist or with a coach, what is your goal and what do you want to get? Because, see, therapy trauma is a real thing. You can go to therapy and you can end up not feeling better and think that it's you, that you're the problem because you've been going to therapy for years. I know women, I have friends who've gone to therapy 5 years. I have one friend who's gone for 20 years. And I said, what's the purpose of going to therapy? And she's like, so I can feel better. And I said, well, do you? And I said, does it take 20 years to get to where you want to go? So it's just a question of, is that therapist the right one for you too? Or is that coach the right coach for you? So really think about what your goals are before you go in, because therapy trauma is a real thing. And we don't want to have therapy trauma. We want to feel better for having worked with a therapist or worked with a coach. Set your goals ahead of time. If you want to resolve the past, therapy is the way to go. And make sure you get a therapist who is going to that you resonate with, that you can work well with, that can help you. See, I was extremely fortunate when I was about 8 years ago. I found a hypnotherapist that was absolutely fabulous, and it was a completely different situation than the couple of therapists that I had met with 20 years before that. See, the therapists I met with early on, they were focused on the past, and all they wanted to do was talk about the past and talk about the abuse and the being molested as a child. And I felt like all it was doing was keeping me stuck there and making it worse because I was reliving it over and over and over after those sessions. And I was like, this is not what I want. So I stopped going because it was not focusing on my outcome that I wanted for my life. When I went to the hypnotherapist 8 years ago, we had a conversation and I said, this is where I'm looking to go and these are the changes I want to happen. And this is the one big thing that I need to resolve. She said, great, let's go. Let's do it. Did she take me back to the past? Yes. But here's the thing. I was ready at that time. And I said, yes, take me back there. Let me feel all of those deep, heavy emotions and let's get them out. And then she helped me change how I saw them. And then I was able to move forward and step into the life that I wanted to live. Because I was ready and I found the right person to work with. So that hypnotherapist, I worked with her for 2 sessions. It did take 20 years. It was 2 sessions and it was resolved. She even said to me at the end of the second session, she goes, well, sounds like everything's resolved. If anything comes up that you want to work on again, something, if this happens to come back, which I don't believe it will, reach out to me. Otherwise, we don't need to see each other anymore. Can you imagine that? Like your therapist saying to you, yep, you did what you came here to do and you're ready to go. I'm setting you free. So think about it. Do you want a therapist? Do you want a coach? Because here's what I do as your coach. I work with you to help you see what are the thoughts happening in your brain right now? What's stopping you and getting you in the way? Because here's your goal out here. And there's this thing that keeps coming up and stopping you. And you're like, okay, it goes down. And you're like, okay, it's great. And then boom, it's back up again and stops you. And you figure out a way to push it down and press it down. But here's the thing, it still gets pressed down and it's still able to come back up. What we want to do is dissolve that so that it doesn't get pushed down. It doesn't have the ability to come back up. It's just dissipated and dissolved and gone. And at the same time, we create the new belief to get you to where you want to go. So if you're looking for a coach, someone who wants to work with you to help you get to where you want to go, to help you remove those beliefs that are getting in the way, the ones you know are getting in the way, and even the ones you don't know that are there, we'll uncover them together. So let's have a conversation and let's take this a level deeper to help you get to where you want to go. So comment below the word transform or send me a private message with the word transform and let's get together and have that conversation and see if you and I are the right fit for each other. This is Heather Dunlop. Always remember, you have strength within you.